Okay, so I'm going to explain how to install Calico under Windows XP. I'm going to do it following along with the directions that are actually on the web. So if you go to this website, you can walk through it with me. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so what we're going to do is, here's the website I was telling you about. We're going to go to the Calico detailed installation instructions and the step-by-step instructions Calico under Windows XP. At the top, there's an overview of what you're going to do, but we won't look at that right now. The first thing you need to do is actually confirm that you have administrative rights in Windows XP. If you're not an administrator, you may not be able to install Calico. So what you want to do is you want to go to your Start menu. Now, I can't show you my Start menu, but here's a picture. Using your right mouse button, right click, and you should see a menu that hopefully says Open All Users, Explore All Users. If it does, then you're in great shape and you actually do have administrative rights and you can install Calico. If not, you may want to find somebody who is an administrator on your machine and ask them if they could install Calico for you. But I have it on mine, so we're going to keep going. Let's keep going. The first thing you need to do is download and install Mono. This is something that Calico uses. From the page, it'll tell you which one to download. Right now, we're at Download Mono 2.6.7 for Windows, so just click on that. I tend to like to save things to my hard drive before I run them, so I'm going to say I want to save this file. And I'm going to save it in my Downloads folder, so I'll just say Save. You can save it wherever you want. Now I'm going to pause for a minute while my download happens so you don't have to wait with me while it downloads. But before I do, make sure that the Close This dialog box when download completes checkbox is not checked. So you want yours to be empty, just like mine. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, so my download's complete. And what I want to do now is just say Run. So let's click on Run. And are you sure you want to run? Yeah, I really am sure I want to run. So here we go. Mostly we're going to choose the defaults. We'll say I want to go to the next. And please read the agreement. I've read it already, so I'm going to accept it and say next. And it says, please read this information before continuing. Well, I'm going to say next. I've probably read it before, maybe. Okay, now this is important. You want to write down where setup is going to install Mono. Probably you want to let it install it wherever it wants to. For me, that's C:/program files/mono267. But whatever it is that it's wherever it wants to put it for you, or wherever you choose to put it, it's very important to write this down. And I recommend you allow it to use the default. Okay? So let's say next. Again, let's just say next here. And finally, we'll say next again. And we'll accept the default port, next. And ready to install, so I'm going to click on Install. And now it's going to install. I'm going to pause again. I'll be back in a minute when it's done. Okay, it's finishing up. And it says completing the Mono wizard, and we'll just say finished. Hooray, we've got Mono installed. So now we're going to scroll down. There's all the screenshots to tell you what to do if you weren't watching this video. And now it says we need to download and install Calico. So let's go ahead and we'll do that. Okay. Now, when we download and install Calico, again, there's a link right to the download folder here. There's a bunch of different Calico files we can select. You want to pick the newest one. So for me, 10th of August 2011 is the newest one, 059. You'll probably have an even newer one, but click on it. And again, I want to save this. It'll save to my downloads file. I'll say save. And again, I don't want to close the dialog box when the download completes. I want to leave it open. All right, my download is complete. What I want to do this time is I actually want to open folder. So let's do that. There we go. And there's my folder. Oops, it's not showing me that it's downloaded Calico yet, and you might panic, but don't panic. Just say View and say Refresh, and that'll show you everything that's really in there, and great, now we've got Calico. Okay, and meanwhile, let me just go to this window and go back to the instructions so you can see where we are. Okay, Calico is a zip file. That means we need to open it up and take a look at it before we can use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the right mouse button and we're going to click on this file and we're going to say extract all. That means get everything out of this zipped file into a regular format. In the zip file, it's in a compressed format. So we'll say extract all. Oop, you can't see that, but it says welcome to the extraction wizard. We'll say next. It asks me where I want to extract the files to. Now, what I recommend you do is don't put it in the default this time, but rather go back to where it put mono. So I'm going to say browse, and for me, mono went into my computer, C, program files. So I'm going to put Calico into that same program files place. If yours was in Windows x86 program files, great, put it in there. Okay. Okay, so I'll just select C program files. And it says C program files, that's what I want. I'll say next. And it extracts. We'll pause so you don't have to watch this. Okay. When it's done, it says, if you want to see your extracted files, check the box below. Well, I do, and we'll press Finish. And another window opens up. Let's get rid of this Downloads window now. And we'll go into, for me, it's C Program Files Calico. For you, it may have a different name. Okay, and now we're in here. So your window may or may not look like this. If you want it to look like this, you can always go to the View menu and say Details. If I said View Thumbnails, I'd see these little boxes, but I like View Details. All right, what we're going to do now is we may need to change the startcalico.bat file. So what I want to do is I'm going to right-click on this using the right mouse button again, and I'm not going to say Open, I'm going to say Edit. Make sure you don't say Open, make sure you don't double-click. So I'm going to say Edit, and yeah, I actually want to run. And it opens up Notepad for me. So now I'm looking at the file in Notepad. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to look at this line of code in between all these rems. And if it says right here, the place where you put mono, then you're in great shape. You don't have to do anything, just quit from the editor. Just click on the X. But in my case, it has an x86 here, and mine was just C program files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and just backspace over that and make sure I get rid of that last space. Now that looks good. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to say File Save. Now, most of the time, File Save will work. If for some reason save doesn't work, it may give you an error and tell you you're not allowed to write to the program files folder. Some people have that problem. If it does, then do a save as and save it somewhere else where you can put it, and then just use my computer to drag it and drop it into drag and drop the new one into your Calico folder, and that'll work fine. Okay, great, we're almost there. So now all you need to do is make a shortcut on your desktop so you can run Calico. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the startcalico.bat file, which is now the new one that you edited. In fact, if I say View Refresh, you can see the time on that. It's a little bit different. And you're going to right-click on this, drag it over your desktop, and say Create Shortcuts here. So there we go. Mine says startcalico.bat2 because I didn't tell you, but I have another one on my desktop already. But it probably will just say startcalico.bat. Okay, great. Okay, now we can get rid of this window, and now you're ready to run Calico. So we're way down here in the instructions somewhere. But run Calico to confirm it works. So what you're going to do is you're going to double-click on the shortcut you made and say Run. you'll get this black screen that says Loading Calico. And in a minute, you'll get the nice pretty Calico window. And then to test it, you can just try typing some math and see if it does the math for you. So we could say something like, what is 4 plus 2? Notice I'm typing it in this window, but it's already there. And I hit enter. And down here, it copies what I typed. It tells me it was 6, and we're good. So congratulations, if you got this far, you've got Calico installed on your machine. Fantastic.